Hey guys, Dadtries, and this is Atomicrops. Atomicrops came as a recommendation to me from a friend of mine, specifically to play on the Steam Deck, and I gotta say, it quickly has become probably one of my favorite games to play on the Steam Deck for sure. It plays just fine, keyboard and mouse, if you want to sit at the PC and do that. There's no issue with it, but it's also one of those games where you don't feel like you have your hands tied playing with a controller either. So, I mean, why not play it on the Steam Deck? It runs just fine. I've never had a single issue with frame rate. It runs just as good on the Steam Deck, and the experience is completely comparable to the PC. So, I mean, this is going to go in my Steam Deck must-have playlist. I'll tell you right now, it's very good. However, this game makes me feel so incompetent. It's pretty unique. It's kind of a hard one to describe. I guess I'd say it's kind of like, Plants vs. Zombies meets Stardew Valley, but in a bullet hell roguelite. Before I get too deep into it, I just want to go back and take a second to call out Birdbath Games for making the game. It's well done. I picked this one up on sale for $3.74, and its normal price is $15, but it goes on sale pretty regularly. If it's $15 right now while you're watching the video, just give it like 3 to 4 weeks. It'll probably go back down on sale. So just wishlist it and wait. You'll save yourself that $12. And even, honestly, even at $15, you're going to get 15 hours worth of fun for sure. But if you're patient, you can save a bunch of money. Now, the one kind of drawback to this is the game, like a lot of roguelites, it ramps up as you progress. As your run gets longer, it gets harder, which is to be expected. The runs can be a little bit long, so my issue is I only play the game if I know I've got about an hour and a half to really put into the run so that I don't have to pause it and try and pick it up later, because the intensity is just so much different from the first day in your run to the last day of the run, and it's hard to jump right back in and pick it up, whereas if you're playing the whole way through, you're kind of building yourself up to that gradually. And just for me, it's hard to just jump back in at 100%. It's much nicer, and I do much better if I start at the very beginning and slowly work my way up to that. So the runs can be a little bit long. However, you can pause it and you can save it mid-run at any point. It's not a big deal, especially on the Steam Deck. You just hit pause, turn the screen off, go deal with the kids, whatever you're going to do. It's not going to really interrupt anything game mechanic-wise. It's just my mental ability to come back to a game that's ramped up to 1,000% is just not good. 9 times out of 10, I end up failing that very same day or the very next run because I'm just, my fingers aren't used to it, or they're not ready, whatever it might be. It's hard to resume a run if you're pretty far into it. Now, the game does have a tutorial. I recommend you play it, and I recommend you pay attention to it because it has a lot of nuances, and if you're not paying attention, if you're not, I guess, more or less min-maxing your run to the best of your ability, you're not going to do very good. It took me quite a few tries to even beat the first difficulty, and the change in difficulty and the change in intensity from the first difficulty setting to the second, once you unlocked it after you beat it the first time, it's pretty significant. The friend that recommended this said that he has completed the highest difficulty, and I can't imagine at this point. Like, I'm honestly, and again, I'm going to reiterate, I'm terrible at this game, but looking at our play times, they're about the same, and he's completed everything there is to do as far as difficulty wise, and I'm still struggling on like the first difficulty. So I don't know. I really don't have an excuse. I just suck real bad, but it's so much fun. The whole premise of the game is you have to till, you have to keep up with your weeds, you've got to water the crops, and then you've got to harvest the crops when they're ready. And you'll know they're ready because they'll start jumping up and down and making happy plant noises. And then you cut them down, you sell them for cashews. Then you take your cashews to town. And what's up, bud?
Hi.
Hello. How's your movie?
Pretty good.
Righteous. Love you, bye.
Hi.
All right, so you take your cashews to town, and then you sell the cashews for weapon upgrades, or you can buy seeds because that's if you don't have any seeds, you're not making any money. You can also go out into the map to find seeds. You have to kill some enemies. There's some camps. The camps are going to give you rewards. Everything that you're doing compoundly upgrades your farm or your character, and you desperately need all the updates that you can get, upgrades that you can get, because every day it gets just a little bit harder, and every third day there's a boss that comes. And again, take this with a grain of salt because I'm extremely bad at the game, but one thing I've found is that if I don't buy an upgraded gun like the very first day, and I think you need like 60 to 90 cashews for that, then I have a really hard time the rest of the run. I just feel so behind because the guns get more expensive every day as you go on. And if you're not harvesting enough, then you can't afford that next gun. But if you can't afford the next gun, you spend really more time trying to save your crops because you can't kill the enemies fast enough. So you've got to... the very beginning is crucial to your success. If you're not doing well in the beginning, the rest of your run is not going to do great. But this is by no means a tips and tricks video. This is 100% just me saying it's a very good game. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of achievements. There's a lot to unlock. If you're someone who likes to 100% games, then I mean this one's going to take some time from you. It really will. Just stick with it because it's a little frustrating at first, but as you start getting the runs down and you start finding the patterns and you start figuring out the propagation methods and some of the upgrades that come with that, and how to upgrade your seeds to plant better things that are worth more money, and getting your fertilizer and your watering under control. Once you've figured all that stuff out, then there's the exploration portion, and once you figured out the exploration portion, you kind of tie it all together. And you'll start doing better in your runs. I'm just now getting to a point, probably 15 hours into the game, where I'm getting a little more comfortable, and I have beaten the first two difficulties. I want to say first two, but it's still challenging and it's still hard, but I'm still coming back for more because there's a lot of things to upgrade and unlock. So, also there's cats. You can buy cats for nothing else than they just kind of hang out at the menu screen, and it's fun. You have cats. But yeah, that's Atomicrops. This is a shorter one. Not a lot for me to talk about because I'm terrible, and you don't want to take my advice. The only advice I would say to take from this video is that when it goes on sale, if you have a Steam Deck, you should buy it because it's amazing. That's all. Have a great rest of your day.